Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. This channel is run by two sisters, so I'll be your host today, Star. Like the hermit I am, I like to scour the internet for fun or maybe even angsty topics. I had a very boring summer if you couldn't tell. And during these sad times, I wanted to put my criticism techniques to use, and I may have just found probably the worst or one of the worst things I have ever read on Webtoon. Y'all thought Boyfriends was bad? It has nothing on The Fates. Before I get started, to the author and anyone it may concern, this is not a hate video in any way. As a person reviewing your material that you publicly put online, I have every right to express my opinion on it in a critical way. To anyone who may be watching, trigger warnings for predatory behavior, student-teacher relationship, glamorizing toxicity and toxic behaviors, and more that are probably listed on the screen if I can't think of any at the moment. P.S. Turn on your captions if you need to. With that said, let's begin. The story of the fate follows 18-year-old Shiaz, apologies if I mispronounce any of the names, as he starts a new school in a new chapter of his life. Shiaz is struggling with being closed off and uninterested in a lot of things, but when his friend convinces him to join the art club, he opens up a lot more. However, all the good things happening is overshadowed by Shiaz and Mr. Fiet's relationship. When the two characters meet, Shiaz isn't too welcoming and Mr. Fiet takes offense to that. So during Shiaz's introduction, he touches him and brings him closer towards his chest. And based on the effect text, Shiaz has a positive reaction to this gesture. As early as page 13, each episode is only a page long, sexual harassment is already displayed. It is inappropriate and illegal for teachers to display this behavior to a student no matter what age they are. A teacher will always have the upper hand and is always authoritative due to being older and due to their position in a school setting over the student. It is a power play and nothing else. Shiaz is embarrassed by the action, is blushing, and hung over about what took place. However, despite Shiaz being flustered, Mr. Fett doesn't stop his unsolicited behavior and still gets handsy with Shiaz. He whispers in his ear, touches his chin, pins him to a desk, and on page 21 even asks Shiaz that he could do private lessons, which Shiaz declines to. You might be hearing all of this or even read the comic yourself and might be thinking,
well, the art is cute, the characters are hot, and the characters are all of age.
However, that doesn't matter. That doesn't excuse the predatory behavior of the teacher towards his student, even if the MC is of age. The main character is conveniently of age just to be in a student-teacher relationship, and the teacher, despite stating when we first meet him that he doesn't date students, is displaying this kind of behavior. It is wrong on so many levels, and it's easy to see that they're setting up these two characters, and it's a red flag for me, and it should be a red flag for you too. You honestly don't have to go far to see the potential set up for these characters. After page 22, which is the end of chapter 1, the next page is a bonus. The first panel hints at some sexual act, at least to me, and as you scroll down, there are a couple illustrations of the two, and one panel hints at them being naked with the teacher's head on the MC's bottom. The comment section seems to praise the author with the display of the character's action despite it being illegal, sexual harassment / assault, and predatory. There are the occasional comments discussing the behavior, but the positive one outweighs the negative, or what I like to call it the critical comments, because no one, at least from what I have seen, is straight up hating, insulting, or being rude. They are, however, pointing out what is going on, and I think if the creators saw those comments early on back in 2019, then I hoped that a change forward would have been conducted. But I think regardless if they did see those comments or not, they had an agenda, a story to tell, even if it portrays toxic behaviors and relationships. Here's my biggest gripe with all of this. This comic is on Webtoon. Webtoon has thousands of readers / creators. Something like this thing up on Webtoon where many can access it for free, mind you, could potentially warp their minds. Young kids, which dominate a large portion of Webtoon's reader base, can be easily impressioned with what they are reading. Even though when you first click on the comic, it does tell you that it is mature, has mature topics, Webtoon doesn't do much to confirm people's ages, so it won't stop anyone from reading this comic. For example, I don't know if anyone has watched Pretty Little Liars, but that showed nothing to ensure that the teacher-student relationship between Arya and Ezra was actually bad, and for people not to like the couple because it might be revealed later on how toxic it really is. I remember when I was younger how I loved the couple, but it wasn't until I was older and I realized,
what the F did I just watch?
And why did they do that? This comic is the same. I haven't read all 300 plus pages, nor do I plan to. I did skip to chapter 8, and I know that the comic doesn't just revolve around the teacher and the MC. There are other characters around, but that doesn't change anything. This comic is still running, it is still on Webtoon, and I can't help being disappointed in Webtoon's complacency with keeping this up. I know that there are so many comics on the platform for editors or whoever to read, but there has to be some sort of system that picks out the bad apples to ensure that the platform puts out good and less toxic comics. And even if certain comics put out toxic or display mature topics, I mean, have you checked out the thriller genre? At least with those comics, for what I can see, it is explained, hinted, or shown that what is taking place is bad and should not be followed, or that kind, authoritative, or good-looking people could actually be bad or manipulative. The switch to showcase that the toxicity taking place is toxic and the MC was misguided, like I said, can ensure that this example isn't being followed. Think Killstagram. And I can't say that this is what this author is doing because there are no hints of it. With the Q&A or bonuses I have seen, the author has every intention to depict this unhealthy and toxic relationship. They are romanticizing this relationship for the world to see. Like I said, young kids are impressionable. Lastly, I want to close by saying do not read this webtoon, and I listed why not. I'm really shocked that this has 8.5 views and is still up. Laws around the world are different, like age of consent, when you can drink, things like that. I don't know where the author is from, but at least here in the United States, what is being displayed here is illegal and prohibited, and the teacher in question will be convicted for that crime. No matter the age, even if you are 18 plus, a sexual relationship between student and teacher is prohibited and illegal. I don't mind repeating myself. Reading this comic felt like I was reading through somebody's fetish because there was no reason to make the characters dynamic student-teacher or give them an age gap like that. It cannot be justified. And this is catered to young kids and teens depicting unhealthy relationship and glamorizing for giggles and cute romantic moments. Really.
Throw it into the garbage pile, please!
So, I said what I said. And I hope you take my words into account. I'm not forcing you to listen to me, but I highly encourage it. Also note, I'm not hating on furry art, stories, or comics, etc. Nor am I judging the community and stories as a whole.
The Fate is its own special of garbage that I think should be left separate from everything else.
If you like furries and the stuff made, then continue with it. Absolutely no shame. Just don't read this and Webtoon. Damn, do better. Anyways, thank you for watching. It means a lot. I'm surprised I was able to make a video before the summer ended, or at least hopefully I got this out before August ended. Besides the shorts I've been doing this summer, my last vid was 2 months ago with Gotham Knights and then 4 months ago with Young Justice. Yikes. But Jenna was keeping the channel alive. Bless her. If you like this video or any other, please consider subscribing, liking, or even commenting. Let me know your thoughts about the topic in hand, especially if you have read through the whole thing. I commend you, soldier. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing day. Jen and I will see you in the next video. And remember, stay a kid at heart. Peace.